I should have known that was going to be the worst tent sale ever when I got here and there was no tent. There were some things on clearance, but it was sucky stuff. So, struck out on this one. Hey vlog, so I'm in Seattle today. Just kidding, I'm in Colorado, but it looks like Seattle. It kind of weird weather. Colorado's typically pretty sunny, so we're going to use this opportunity for a metaphor of when when things are kind of cloudy in life, when the crap kind of hits the fan and things just aren't looking the way that you want them to. Getting stuck and thinking, oh my gosh, this is never going to turn around. It's like, come on, how long have you been on this planet, right? Even Annie knew it. The sun will come out tomorrow. But you're going to feel better. Things are going to kick back into gear. Sometimes it takes longer than others for the cloud cover to move away. And we all have times like that. And I think that part of it can be something that you really hate and you just try and escape from, or you can recognize it for an opportunity for character building. And it's not just to be positive thinking and that, but at the same time it's like, well, what's the opposite of that? Like negative thinking, is that going to help you? How is having a negative perspective on things and being a realist is typically the guise people hide behind because they're too scared to have the courage to step up and see what great opportunities are actually in front of them. Every challenge is either a problem or an opportunity, depending on how it is looked at, because it's all available to you. And it's just amazing, because the real differentiator between people is their mentality. How do they process information? You can choose to make a situation be something that's negative and disempowering and is going to cause you to be in a bad state of mind and make some decisions that are not probably going to help you move forward like you'd like to, and then it becomes an exercise in blaming the environment and all the things that are going on, versus just saying, how can I make this work for me? What great things can come out of this? If I shifted my perspective to a more powerful one, what would that look like, and what would I be thinking about and telling myself, and how would I view things differently, and what might be the consequences of that? Just switch things around a little bit and recognize, again, if you've been on this planet for any length of time, the cloud cover doesn't last forever. Things do definitely turn around. So I would just encourage you, if you're either in a time that's really tough right now, or the next time you're in one, you gotta, because your emotions will mess with you, because you're probably going to be tired, a little bit downtrodden, and it's really easy to get caught up in things and get emotional about it, versus just, that's the time above all when you want to be the most illogical and emotional, to actually be logical about it and to tell yourself the truth and what you know, and look at things from an empowering viewpoint, so that you can use that time to your advantage, because it's there, right? Like, you can't just snap your fingers and get out of it. And so it's a matter of having the guts and the courage to turn it into something that you can use to your advantage and to propel you forward. Wait for it. What is that? Oh, that's the pieces of hail from last night's storm. Yeah, that did a number on the car exterior, as you can imagine. Like, this is crazy. Look at that. Look at that. That's huge. Crazy. Just coming in here, get in the pool for morning practice, and then head back home. Got to rock and roll, get things ready pretty quick, because I have to head out to some appointments, and after I get done with those, head back home, hop on a podcast I'm being interviewed on, and then have another online meeting after that. So pretty full day, pretty full Friday. Hey vlog, it has been a really good week, a very interesting week, just a lot of different things moving at the same time, but I feel like it's been definitely a net positive on the whole. And this morning, well, so yesterday, kind of wrapping things up, and of course, you know, when you're in business, you have issues pop up with staff and clients, and that just becomes part of what you do. You become a professional problem solver, and hopefully the better you get, the you're able to put some systems in place so you don't have the same problems like over and over and over and over again. But problems are just kind of part of the gig, and so people that love getting beat up with problems tend to enjoy being business owners, and people that don't like getting beat up constantly don't like being business owners, even though it, you know, got the glamour aspect to it supposedly, but you know, when you really get into it, it's kind of a different, it's much different being on the outside versus the inside, and kind of being responsible for everything. But it's something that I really appreciate the opportunity, and I just love being in this country in a free market system like we have that allows that opportunity. So anyway, I had some meetings yesterday. I hopped on a podcast as a guest being interviewed by Matt Belair yesterday, and then after that hopped on another sort of web conference call, and then wrapped up some things, and even had enough time to eat some dinner and watch 1 hour of TV. It was pretty great. This morning, went over to the gym, got in a workout, got in a good swim. It's weird because so coming back from that business trip on Marco Island, just the intensity of it, and the basically sleepless day after day after day, just because the hours were so brutal. Came back a tiny bit under the weather, which is super unusual for me, but trying to swim when you don't have lung capacity is terrible. It's a terrible, terrible feeling. If your lungs are already kind of full of fluid, and then you jump in the pool and you try and swim, it's a crazy feeling. And I just had to keep telling myself, like, just breathe, stay relaxed. When you come out of this and you're 100% healthy, you're gonna feel like Aquaman. And today was the first day I could really kind of feel, you know, the juice coming back, and I was feeling it. So super pumped about that. Headed over, I need to get some new running shoes, and there's a tent sale at Dick's Sporting Goods. I'm not expecting to actually find what I need, but it is worth a shot because I need to get some new kicks. So we're gonna go over to the tent sale, check that out, and head back home and work all day, and then hopefully chill out a little bit tonight. But I hope you guys have had a magnificent week, and let's see if I have anything to share here as far as wisdom. I don't know. This might just become a rant. So when I'm driving, it's really interesting to me that some people, it's like they speed. They don't accelerate very quickly whatsoever. They accelerate like they're a tortoise, right? Like they have one cylinder instead of 6 or 8 or whatever they have. And I just don't get that. And being behind them, you're like, hey, there's other people trying to get through this light too. But then when they get near the speed limit, they just like bust right through it. So they accelerate super slow, but then they take it to a speed that they're going to get like busted for. It's like, dude, you're going to get pulled over for sure. And it's one of those things that there's appropriate times to accelerate, and there's a lot of benefit to that because you can position yourself. You have to be thinking not the stoplight you're at, but 2, 3, 4 stoplights ahead. And not that you're in a rush, but you just want to be in a position to be as efficient as possible, obviously using this as a metaphor for life. And a lot of people are so short-sighted. They're like, oh, I'm okay, like, I really need to get somewhere, but I made that light. But they're not thinking even about the next light, or maybe a light or two past that one. And it's pretty amazing to me. I don't know. I hope that is helpful in some way, but life is so much a game of positioning yourself, because you never know when your opportunity, your moment is going to come up. And if you kind of lollygag around, it's difficult to be in a great spot to really be able to step out on the playing field when it's called for. And that's what so much of preparation is for as well, right? It's like the stuff that you do when nobody else knows you're doing it and when you don't even want to do it, but you're putting in the work, and whatever your field is, or whatever hobby you're trying to advance, or your sport, athletics, your physical body, your spiritual life, your financial life, little things make a difference. And we've touched on this before, but compound interest over time. And I just think that a tiny bit of thought giving to planning goes such a long way to making sure that your efforts are invested and putting you in a position to really, really take advantage of the opportunities in front of you. So I hope that might be helpful for somebody. And let's go kick it at the tent sale. See if we can get some shoes. Fingers crossed. I should have known that was going to be the worst tent sale ever when I got here and there was no tent. There were some things on clearance, but it was sucky stuff. So struck out on this one, but hey, stepped up to the plate, gave it a shot. I don't know, I got to figure something out because I definitely need some shoes, but today is not the day, it doesn't seem.